Archangel Michael says, "I am being sent into your heart today to deliver a message that carries light, warmth, and a promise, for heaven has chosen this very moment to whisper softly that someone is being guided into your life, not by accident, not by random encounter, but with great intention and purpose, because your heart has waited in stillness, your soul has yearned in silence, and the time has come for heaven to answer with tenderness and with truth." Type 1010 to affirm that God's timing is perfect. This person will not simply appear as a passing figure along the journey of your days, for they will be a vessel of love that heals, of strength that uplifts, and of blessings that flow like gentle streams over dry land, refreshing the corners of your life that have felt weary and unspoken for too long, and they will walk alongside you as a sign that prayers whispered in faith are never lost, but are gathered in the embrace of God and released in moments chosen with divine care. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you feel God has protected you. The waiting you have carried has not been empty, even though your heart may have felt its weight pressing against you with every passing season, because every tear, every prayer, and every hope you tucked quietly within has been shaping the path for this blessing to reach you, and now the timing of heaven unfolds to remind you that God's answers are always clothed in patience, perfection, and love that never fails. Imagine a dawn breaking after a long night where shadows seemed endless, where silence stretched too far, and where your soul asked if light would ever return, and now the first rays begin to paint the sky with gold, touching everything with promise, and in that same way this person who is coming will be like a sunrise to your spirit, filling you with colors of hope, peace, and joy you thought had drifted beyond reach. What if a simple 7-minute frequency could help your thoughts focus on prosperity and peace? Listeners often share how it brings clarity, motivation, and an uplifting sense of direction. Instead of worry, imagine welcoming calm energy that supports your goals and dreams. Click the link in the description and comments below to listen and experience how this sound can guide you toward a brighter, more abundant tomorrow. You must understand that this is not an accident, for divine design weaves threads unseen by your eyes, stitching together moments, guiding footsteps, aligning hearts, and preparing the perfect season for two paths to meet. And when they do, you will feel the gentle confirmation within that this is no ordinary connection, but one that carries heaven's fingerprints upon it, chosen and prepared in love for you. Do not let your heart grow restless or doubtful as the days unfold, because what is written for you cannot be taken away, what is guided by heaven cannot be lost, and what is given by God will remain strong against the winds of time. And when you open yourself in trust, you will discover that this blessing flows not only into your life, but also through you, becoming a testimony of love's endurance and faith's reward. There is a reason your prayers were held until now, for the preparation was as important as the promise, and heaven knew the depth of your heart, the strength of your faith, and the resilience of your spirit, and only in this appointed moment could the blessing be released in fullness, for now you are ready to receive, ready to embrace, and ready to step into the new chapter prepared for you with hands wide open. Type 1111 if you believe heaven is listening. This person is not arriving to replace the faith you already carry, but to add to it, not to erase the lessons you have walked through, but to deepen them, and not to stand as the sole source of your joy, but to walk beside you as joy multiplies, as love grows, and as blessings expand in ways you could never imagine, because when heaven moves, it never does so halfway, but always with abundance overflowing into every corner of your being. Hold close to your spirit these words, for they are not written to stir empty emotion, but to plant seeds of truth that you may water with faith, and in time you will see them bloom, for the arrival of this person is more than just companionship, it is a reflection of God's tenderness towards you, His awareness of your longings, and His unshakable desire to remind you that His promises are alive, His timing is flawless, and His love never fails. And as you listen deeply with your heart open wide, let the warmth of these words sink into every silent corner, for you are being prepared, you are being healed, and you are being blessed, and the moment this person enters your life you will look back and see that every waiting, every prayer, and every tear was never wasted, but was woven into the beautiful design of God's perfect answer to your soul. Archangel Michael says, as you step into this moment with faith alive in your heart, you must understand that the person being sent into your life is not only an answer to your prayers, but also a reminder that heaven has been listening with careful attention to every whisper of your soul, for God has seen the nights when you felt unseen, He has counted the moments when your spirit longed for comfort, and He has gathered each of those cries into His hands, releasing them now in the form of someone who carries light, tenderness, and divine strength prepared especially for you. This journey is not about chance, it is about divine orchestration that has been unfolding quietly in the background of your life, for even when you thought nothing was happening, heaven was weaving connections, opening doors, and aligning time so that when this person steps into your path, you will know deep within that their presence is no coincidence but a fulfillment of what was spoken over you long before you even realized your own heart's desire. Do not turn away, listen until the final word, for heaven has chosen this moment for you. They are being sent with love that heals, with peace that calms storms within, and with courage that inspires your steps, and though they may come in the form of a gentle friend, a companion, or someone who simply understands you in ways no one else has, their presence will feel like a steady hand guiding you toward the promises of God, reminding you again and again that prayers spoken in faith are never forgotten but are answered in ways greater than you imagined. When they enter your life, you will notice how the silence you once carried begins to soften, how the weight of loneliness begins to lift, and how joy returns like a quiet river flowing through a barren land, and though the transformation may feel subtle at first, it will grow stronger with each moment, reminding you that God always restores in fullness, never in fragments, and always in His perfect timing. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul today. Do not fear the newness of this blessing, for it comes not to disrupt your life but to complete what has been missing, and even if doubts try to rise within you, trust that God has prepared both your heart and theirs for this meeting, for He does not give blessings that you cannot carry, nor does He send love that will harm you, but everything He allows is shaped by His goodness, molded by His wisdom, and sealed with His eternal love. The person being guided into your path is also carrying prayers of their own, whispers they have lifted to heaven in their quiet nights, and in answering you, God is also answering them, bringing two hearts together that have both waited, both longed, and both endured seasons of preparation. And when your paths finally intertwine, you will both realize that this union was not only for your blessing, but also for their healing and joy. Your spirit will begin to see that waiting was not punishment but preparation, that delays were not denials but protection, and that every closed door was only leading you toward this open doorway of grace, for nothing in your journey has been wasted, and every experience you carried, even the painful ones, will now find meaning as they prepared you to embrace this gift without fear, without hesitation, and with full gratitude. Imagine unlocking a gentle sound that helps your mind feel clearer, calmer, and more open to abundance. Many people describe it as a wave that shifts stress into hope, and opens doors to new possibilities in life. It's not about working harder but about aligning your thoughts with positivity. Click the link in the video description and comments to discover this sound and invite fresh opportunities into your journey today. This blessing is not simply about companionship, it is also about purpose, for God does not bring people together without reason, and when this person enters your life, their presence will help you step deeper into your calling, walk more confidently in your faith, and reflect more brightly the love of Christ to others around you, because love that comes from heaven always multiplies, always overflows, and always touches lives far beyond the ones who first receive it. So open your heart with gentle trust and let hope rise within you, for the same God who promised to never leave you has prepared this blessing with perfect care, and even though you may not yet see the full picture, know that it is unfolding with beauty beyond your understanding, and when the moment arrives you will feel the certainty in your soul, as if heaven itself whispered to you, "This is the answer you have been waiting for." Hold on to this truth as a light in the days ahead, for even when doubt tries to shadow your heart, remember that the timing of heaven is not late, that love shaped by God cannot be shaken, and that the person being sent to you is not an ordinary encounter, but a living testimony of God's care for you, His awareness of your journey, and His deep desire to remind you once again that you are seen, cherished, and held in the fullness of His eternal love. Archangel Michael says, as the gentle hand of heaven writes upon the story of your life, the coming of this person is being prepared with such care that every detail carries meaning, for they are not simply stepping into your days to fill a space, but to awaken something deeper within you, something that has long waited in silence, and now through divine timing will be brought to life with tenderness and with purpose. You have walked through moments when your heart questioned whether your prayers reached beyond the ceiling of your room, and you have carried days where the silence of heaven felt endless, yet every word you spoke was received, every longing was held, and every tear was gathered, for now heaven is shaping those cries into the gift of someone whose presence will be like sunlight breaking through darkened skies, touching you with warmth and filling you with hope. This person will not be ordinary, for their spirit will carry echoes of grace that remind you of God's nearness, their words will carry comfort that soothes your hidden wounds, and their presence will lift burdens in ways you never thought possible, and as they walk beside you, you will find strength to step into the days ahead with courage, knowing that heaven does not abandon, but always provides in the perfect moment. Type 1414 if you believe in divine protection. It is not chance that you have endured seasons of waiting, for every delay has been shaping you with patience, softening your heart with compassion, and strengthening your soul with endurance, and now those lessons will meet their fulfillment, because God never prepares without intention, and He never promises without completing. So what has been spoken over you is now moving into reality with the arrival of this chosen soul. Do not let the doubts of yesterday rob you of the joy that is coming, because this person is more than a companion, they are a reflection of God's kindness toward you, a reminder that you are worthy of love, and a living answer to the prayers you thought were forgotten, and when you open yourself to receive them, you will feel the quiet assurance that heaven has kept every promise and answered every whisper in its own perfect way. The presence of this blessing will be like a soft melody playing through the silence of your days, lifting you gently, guiding you slowly, and reminding you that God's timing is always right, for even when it seemed He was silent, He was preparing something greater, something richer, and something that will not fade, and as this person enters your life you will realize that every waiting season has been leading to this moment of beauty. There will be no need for fear, because what God ordains cannot be broken, what He establishes cannot be shaken, and what He blesses will carry strength to endure storms and trials, so when this gift arrives you will not need to strive or to chase, but only to rest in the assurance that this was always written for you, and in that trust you will find peace. Type Amen if you believe in God's love, and share this inspiring video with 7 friends to open the way for blessings and miracles. Remember also that this connection is not one-sided, for just as you have prayed and waited, so has the other heart, and just as you have carried longings, so have they, and God in His wisdom has chosen this time to bring 2 paths together, not only to comfort and uplift one another, but to build a testimony of love, faith, and hope that will shine as light for others who are still waiting for their own answered prayers. Every step you take now is leading you toward fulfillment. Every moment is preparing you to embrace this gift, and as you walk with faith, even in the unseen, your heart will begin to feel the stirring of what is coming, and when the meeting happens you will know with certainty that this is not coincidence, but a divine arrangement placed with love upon the canvas of your life. So let your soul be at rest and let your spirit be lifted, for heaven has not forgotten you. Heaven has not overlooked you, and heaven has not delayed without reason, and the person being sent is not a fleeting blessing, but a lasting reminder that God is faithful, His love is endless, and His answers always arrive clothed in beauty, in timing, and in grace that will carry you far beyond what you imagined. Archangel Michael says, "The blessing being released into your life will come with such gentle power that it will remind you how deeply God cares for every detail of your journey, for this is not a meeting shaped by chance but by the careful weaving of divine purpose, and the one who is being guided toward you has been prepared through their own seasons of waiting, through their own nights of prayer, and through their own lessons of endurance. So that when your paths unite there will be harmony, peace, and a love that reflects the kindness of heaven." Type 1313 to affirm strength through the Lord. The hand of God has been arranging unseen steps, shifting circumstances, and protecting you from connections that were never meant to last, because He desired to bring you into this moment fully ready, and now as the time approaches, you will sense the alignment of heaven moving in ways you cannot deny, for this person will enter not as a stranger of chance, but as a purposeful answer carrying the fragrance of grace and the strength of blessing. Your heart has known longing, your spirit has known silence, and your faith has endured seasons where answers seemed distant, yet those very seasons have strengthened your roots, deepened your trust, and taught you to stand still even in storms, and now that endurance will serve as a foundation for the gift being placed before you, because the love heaven sends is never fragile, it is tested, prepared, and strong enough to endure through all trials. The connection that is forming will not be shallow or fleeting, but deep and steady, reminding you with every word and every act of kindness that God's timing was perfect, that your prayers were never ignored, and that every delay was only preparing both your heart and theirs for this union, and when you welcome this gift, you will see how beautifully heaven transforms waiting into fulfillment. This person will be a mirror of encouragement, a carrier of light when shadows try to fall upon you, and a source of strength when burdens feel heavy, yet they are not being sent to replace your faith but to walk beside it, to remind you that God often answers prayers through people, and that His love is not confined to whispers of the unseen but also revealed through the presence of those He chooses to place in your life. Hidden within your mind is the ability to shift from stress toward freedom. This sound frequency is designed to gently awaken those inner signals, helping you feel aligned with success and possibility. People describe feeling lighter, more positive, and ready to embrace new opportunities. Click the link in the video description and comments below to experience this journey for yourself and open the door to abundance flowing into your life. Do not be afraid to open your heart, for fear will try to whisper that blessings may fade, but this is not a fleeting moment, it is a divine arrangement, and heaven's gifts do not vanish with time, because what God joins remains, what He blesses flourishes, and what He ordains becomes a testimony of His faithfulness. So as this person enters your life, hold their presence as sacred, knowing they are an answer and not an accident. You will soon realize that even the smallest interactions with them carry weight, for their words will lift your spirit when it feels weary, their presence will remind you that you are never alone, and their love will confirm that God truly delights in giving good things to those who wait with faith, and as your bond grows, you will discover that your life has been gently prepared for this blessing all along. The days ahead will unfold with moments of peace that feel like a balm upon your soul, with laughter that heals unspoken wounds, and with hope that blossoms where despair once lived, because when heaven brings a gift, it does not arrive half-formed but complete, ready to grow, ready to flourish, and ready to remind you that every tear was worth it, every prayer was heard, and every waiting season had purpose beyond what you could see. Let your heart rest now in this truth, for the blessing is on its way, the person is being guided closer with every passing moment, and soon the emptiness you carried will be replaced with fullness, not because you searched tirelessly, but because heaven has chosen to give at the right time, and when you embrace this person, you will feel the quiet assurance of God's hand resting upon you, confirming that this love was always meant to find you. Type 1212 if you know God is guiding your steps. So step forward with peace, lift your eyes with hope, and let your soul be ready, because the one being sent into your life carries the promise of answered prayer, the strength of divine purpose, and the love that heaven has written for you, and through them you will not only be reminded of God's nearness, but you will also carry within you the living testimony that faith, patience, and trust always lead to blessings beyond measure. Archangel Michael says, "The pathway of your life is opening to receive someone who has been chosen with care, for their arrival is not a sudden thought of heaven but a promise that has been quietly maturing, and now the season has come for you to step into the beauty of what has been prepared, for the person who approaches carries more than presence, they carry an answer, a reminder, and a testimony of God's faithfulness that will embrace you in the gentlest way. For so long, your soul has whispered prayers in the stillness, trusting that God hears even when silence lingers, and each prayer has been gathered, not lost, not ignored, but stored for the appointed time, and this moment is now unfolding, where the blessing takes form in a person whose spirit will speak peace into your heart, whose kindness will lift you above weariness, and whose companionship will remind you that you are not alone. For heaven has always been attentive to your deepest needs. This is not about filling empty places with noise or fleeting company, but about bringing into your life someone who carries light that lasts, whose presence will feel like a safe shelter against storms, and whose heart will resonate with the rhythm of yours, because what heaven gives is not fragile, what heaven sends does not fade, and the one arriving is chosen to stay, to strengthen, and to build alongside you a story of faith and love that shines beyond your own life. Your waiting has been a season of refinement, teaching you patience when impatience tried to rule, teaching you endurance when discouragement tried to weaken, and teaching you hope when despair whispered in the night, and all those lessons are now bearing fruit, for the person entering your journey has also been walking through preparation, and heaven has chosen this exact moment when both hearts are ready, both souls are steady, and both lives are aligned to create something beautiful. You will notice the difference in the way they arrive, for it will not feel like uncertainty but like a long-awaited confirmation. Their presence will not stir chaos but peace, their words will not wound but heal, and their steps will not push you away but draw you closer into the embrace of God's promises. And as you walk together, you will see clearly that this meeting is written not in chance but in divine purpose. Type Amen to trust God's plan for your life. Do not be afraid of what lies ahead, for fear belongs to the past, and what is coming belongs to the hand of God, who does not give in fragments but in fullness, who does not tease with false hopes but fulfills with perfect timing, and in this gift you will see the evidence of His love, the reassurance of His care, and the confirmation that prayers whispered in faith always return with answers clothed in beauty. The companionship you are about to receive will also carry purpose beyond your own comfort, for through this bond you will grow stronger in faith, more radiant in hope, and more generous in love, and others around you will be touched by the blessing, because true love and divine connections never stop with one person, but flow outward as rivers of grace, refreshing everyone who drinks from the stream. Every detail of this unfolding promise will remind you that nothing was wasted, not the tears you cried, not the nights you prayed, not the years you waited, for all of it has been gathered and transformed into a blessing far richer than you imagined, and when you embrace the person heaven has chosen, you will know with certainty that this was worth every moment of silence, every season of patience, and every step of faith. So let your heart soften to receive, let your spirit rest in trust, and let your soul rejoice even before the blessing fully arrives, because heaven has spoken, the answer is on its way, and soon the longing you carried will turn into joy, the emptiness into fullness, and the waiting into testimony, for God never delays without reason, and His timing is always wrapped in love, always shaped in wisdom, and always sealed with grace that cannot be broken. And as this person steps gently into your life, remember always that they are not a coincidence but a gift, not a random meeting but a promise fulfilled, and not a fleeting moment but a lasting presence, carrying into your journey the very love, strength, and blessing your heart has been waiting for, so that you may walk forward not only with joy but with the unshakable assurance that heaven has truly answered. Archangel Michael says, "The moment draws nearer when the person chosen for you will step into your life with the kind of grace that cannot be explained by chance, for their presence will carry with it a quiet certainty that this was always meant to be, and as they arrive you will feel the soft confirmation within your heart that God has been working all along, shaping every detail, aligning every step, and preparing this blessing to reach you at exactly the right time. You have walked through valleys where shadows seemed endless and mountains where the climb felt heavy, yet in every step heaven was guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for this union, because the blessing of love that is rooted in God does not come unformed, it comes complete, filled with purpose, strength, and tenderness that will carry you forward into a season of peace and joy that far outweighs the weight of your waiting. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. This person will carry qualities that reflect the heart of heaven. They will see the beauty within you even when you doubt yourself. They will speak words that calm storms you thought would never quiet, and they will remind you with their actions that God's promises are not distant ideas but living realities, unfolding in your very life through the gift of someone who was chosen to walk with you in faith and in love. There is a wave of sound that many believe helps create space for abundance to enter. It's like tuning your thoughts to a higher vibration, where struggle feels lighter and hope feels stronger. This simple practice can guide you toward peace, clarity, and the mindset for prosperity. Click the link in the description and comments below to experience this sound and allow your life to welcome new blessings today. When they come, you will notice how the emptiness you carried begins to shift, how the silent corners of your days fill with warmth, and how hope that once seemed fragile grows strong again, for the presence of someone guided by heaven always brings restoration, not only to the surface but to the very depths of your soul, and through them you will experience the tender care of God expressed in human form. Do not think of this as a mere meeting of two lives, for it is far deeper. It is the weaving together of stories that have been guided by heaven from the beginning, and though you may have wondered why the journey took so long, you will come to see that the waiting allowed both hearts to grow, both souls to heal, and both paths to prepare for a love that is not rushed but enduring, not shallow but eternal in its depth. There will be no need for striving when they arrive, for love sent by God does not demand that you lose yourself, it encourages you to become more of who you were created to be, and their presence will not weigh you down but lift you higher, reminding you daily that you are cherished, valued, and worthy of a love that reflects the very heart of God. As you embrace this blessing, you will also discover that your faith grows stronger, because every moment with them will remind you of how faithfully God works, how carefully He listens, and how deeply He answers, and together you will begin to shine as a testimony to others, showing that waiting is never wasted, that prayer is never ignored, and that hope anchored in God never disappoints. The life you build with this person will carry light that reaches beyond your own journey, touching those around you who are still waiting, still longing, and still hoping, and your story will speak louder than words ever could, showing them that love guided by heaven is possible, that it is real, and that it arrives in the perfect time prepared by the hand of God. Let your heart be still and let your soul be at peace, for the days of questioning are drawing to a close, and the days of fulfillment are at hand, and soon you will look back at the path you walked and see not only the struggles, but also the careful hand of God in every step, leading you toward this person who is more than a blessing. They are a living reminder of heaven's unchanging love for you. So hold on to faith with steady hands and lift your eyes with hope, because the one being sent is not far away, they are already on the path toward you, and when the moment of meeting arrives you will feel the certainty within, knowing beyond doubt that this was always planned, always promised, and always destined to be, for heaven has written this love upon your life with grace that cannot be undone. Type 2020 to claim joy and strength. Archangel Michael says, the person being sent into your life is a gift wrapped not in grandeur but in quiet strength, for their presence will come softly, like the dawn that eases darkness away, and yet within them rests a power so steady that it will transform the way your heart beats, the way your soul breathes, and the way your spirit walks forward. Because this connection is not built upon fleeting emotions but upon the eternal foundations of God's faithful love. The hours of your waiting have never been overlooked, for God has been watching the unfolding of your journey with eyes of compassion and hands of guidance, holding you through the nights when loneliness seemed unending and strengthening you through the days when hope felt fragile. And every one of those moments has been leading here, to the arrival of someone who will embody the truth that prayers are answered, that promises are kept, and that blessings arrive at the time they are most needed. This person will not carry perfection, but they will carry purpose, and through their imperfections you will learn to see the beauty of God's work. Because love that comes from heaven is not about flawless appearance but about faithful presence, not about surface strength but about enduring support, and as they walk beside you, you will see with clarity that they were chosen to complement your spirit, to uplift your soul, and to remind you every day that you are never forgotten by the one who created you. When you meet them, there will be a quiet recognition that surpasses words, a sense that your heart has found a missing piece, not because they complete who you are but because they remind you that God's love completes every space, and in their embrace you will feel echoes of heaven's tenderness, the reassurance that you are cherished, and the gentle confirmation that this union was prepared with divine care. Your story has carried trials that shaped you, burdens that humbled you, and experiences that taught you the depth of endurance, and now those very lessons will serve as the soil where this love can grow, because the richest blessings are planted not in unbroken ground but in hearts that have weathered storms, and the bond you are about to receive will be strong, because it has been watered by waiting, nurtured by faith, and prepared by God's hand. This connection will bring light where there was heaviness, laughter where there was silence, and strength where there was weakness, and it will remind you not only of God's ability to answer but also of His desire to give abundantly, for the love that is arriving is not a small comfort but an overflowing river, quenching every thirst and bringing life to every dry place within your spirit. Do not fear what lies ahead, for God does not send blessings with hidden harm, He does not open doors that lead to despair, and He does not unite hearts without intention, and this person's presence in your life will be a testament that what He gives, He sustains, what He promises, He fulfills, and what He begins, He completes with beauty that endures. Imagine listening to a frequency that gently guides your mind into balance, focus, and positivity. For some, this opens pathways to opportunities and a sense of freedom they hadn't felt before. It's about reconnecting with what is already within you and letting it flourish. Click the link in the video description and comments below to discover this uplifting sound and step into a life filled with greater peace and abundance. The companionship that is being prepared will not only be for your comfort but also for your growth, for through them you will learn more deeply how to trust, how to give, and how to walk in faith without fear, and together you will shine brighter than you could have alone. Because when two lives are guided by heaven into unity, the light they carry multiplies and touches far beyond themselves, reaching others with the warmth of God's love. Let your soul find peace in this truth, that every moment of waiting has been worth it, that every unanswered question has now found its place in the story, and that soon you will look back and see that the delays were not denials but divine pauses, giving time for hearts to be ready, for paths to align, and for heaven's perfect design to unfold at the right moment with undeniable grace. Type 1616 if you surrender to God's will. So walk forward with hope alive within you, for the arrival of this person is nearer than you realize, and when they step into your journey, you will not need to wonder if this was by chance, because every fiber of your being will know it was God's hand, carefully arranging, lovingly guiding, and faithfully answering, bringing into your life someone who carries love, strength, and blessing, exactly as your heart has been waiting for. Archangel Michael says, "The one who is being guided toward you will not arrive with noise or with suddenness, but with the quiet certainty of a promise fulfilled, for their coming will be as gentle as a breeze that carries the scent of spring after a long winter, soft yet undeniable, subtle yet transforming, and as they step into your life, your spirit will recognize in them the echo of prayers once whispered, now answered in a way only heaven could arrange." Every season you have endured has been leading to this moment, every prayer spoken in tears has been shaping the ground for this blessing, and every delay has been preparing your heart so that when this person enters, you will not doubt their purpose, for deep within you will know they are not here by chance but by divine arrangement, sent to bring healing, strength, and companionship woven with the threads of heaven's love. Their presence will be more than company, it will be a balm to wounds you thought would never close, a light for paths that once felt uncertain, and a steady hand to hold when burdens grow heavy, for love sent from God carries within it the power to restore, to lift, and to build, and this person will walk with you not as a passing figure but as a chosen companion meant to reflect God's care into every part of your journey. There will be a peace about their arrival that sets your soul at rest, because love guided by heaven does not stir confusion, it settles it, it does not cause unrest, it calms it, and it does not weaken your faith, it strengthens it, and as you grow to know this person, you will find yourself believing more deeply in the faithfulness of God, for their presence will serve as a living reminder that His promises are true and His timing is always perfect. The years that seemed silent will suddenly reveal their purpose, for you will see how God used every waiting season to shape your heart with patience, to deepen your compassion, and to strengthen your spirit, so that you could receive this blessing with gratitude and carry it with care. And just as your heart was being prepared, so too was theirs, for they have been walking their own journey, praying their own prayers, and waiting for the moment when God's hand would bring your paths together. This connection is not only about love in its earthly sense, it is about partnership in purpose, for together you will encourage one another, build one another, and grow into the fullness of what God has designed for your lives, and in that unity you will find strength to rise higher, faith to believe deeper, and hope that overflows into the lives of others, becoming a testimony that waiting is never wasted when God is the one writing the story. Do not allow doubt to cloud your heart in the days ahead, for the enemy of hope will try to make you believe that such blessings are not for you, but the truth is that heaven has already written this into your life, and no fear, no delay, and no circumstance can undo what God has ordained. So lift your eyes with expectation, for the promise is near, and soon you will walk in the reality of what your heart has long desired. This person will bring with them the assurance of stability, the warmth of companionship, and the courage of shared faith, and though their arrival may feel simple in its beginning, its impact will grow like a river widening as it flows, touching every part of your life with joy, peace, and blessing that will endure. And as you walk together, you will feel the weight of loneliness lift and the light of God's love fill every corner of your being. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul. Let hope rise within you now, let peace settle over your spirit, and let your heart rest in the certainty that what God begins He always completes. And as this person steps into your life, you will see how every moment has been leading to this, how every prayer has been answered, and how every tear has been turned into the joy of fulfillment, for heaven never forgets, and the love being given to you now is proof of that everlasting truth. So embrace the coming days with courage and gratitude, knowing that what is being released into your life is not fleeting, not uncertain, and not fragile, but lasting, purposeful, and filled with God's blessing, and the one who enters your journey will carry the evidence of heaven's care, reminding you daily that prayers do not vanish into silence, but return as promises fulfilled in the perfect time chosen by the hand of God. Archangel Michael says, "The blessing that approaches is wrapped in a love so tender that your heart will know instantly it is from heaven, for the one being sent into your life carries not only the answer to prayers long spoken, but also the strength to stand with you through every moment ahead, because this is not about chance, it is about purpose, and when they arrive, you will feel the undeniable assurance that God Himself has arranged every step." The years of waiting were never wasted, though at times they felt like empty silence, because each moment was shaping you, preparing you, and molding your heart to receive this gift with the depth of understanding it deserves. And just as you were being refined, so too was the one who is coming, for they also have walked through valleys, lifted their own prayers, and carried their own waiting. And now both paths converge at the precise moment chosen by heaven. This person will not simply walk into your life as a companion, they will walk in as a reflection of God's faithfulness, showing you through their presence that prayers do not fade into nothing but rise before heaven and return in their time as blessings that overflow. And as you grow with them, your spirit will be constantly reminded that God's promises are steady, His timing is flawless, and His love endures beyond every trial. You will feel their presence bring peace where there was restlessness, joy where there was sorrow, and warmth where there was emptiness, for love shaped by God heals in ways no human plan can design, and their arrival will be like light spilling into a darkened room, softly yet completely transforming the atmosphere, leaving you with a sense of calm assurance that you are seen, heard, and deeply cherished by your Creator. The bond you form with this person will not weaken your faith but strengthen it, not pull you away from God but draw you nearer, because heaven's love is never given to distract but to build, never given to harm but to heal. And through this blessing you will discover that God's care extends not only through His unseen hand but also through the hearts of those He places beside you, carrying His love into your everyday life. This connection will become a safe place where your soul finds rest, where your burdens feel lighter, and where your hope grows stronger. And as you walk with them, you will notice how God uses even the smallest details, simple words, gentle gestures, quiet moments, to remind you that His presence is woven into everything, and that through this person you are experiencing His love in a living, tangible way. What if prosperity was less about chance and more about tuning your thoughts? This unique sound wave is designed to help shift your mind into a state of calm and receptivity. Many listeners say it feels like stress fading and possibility appearing. Imagine doors opening where there once were walls. Click the link in the description and comments below to hear it for yourself and embrace a path filled with new opportunities. Your story has carried chapters of loss, silence, and uncertainty, yet all of them were part of the preparation, for without them your heart would not be able to recognize the value of what is being given now, and every tear once shed is being redeemed, every prayer once spoken is being answered, and every longing once carried is being fulfilled in the beauty of this divine connection that is being released into your life. Together, you and this person will reflect the light of God more brightly than you could alone, for when two hearts guided by heaven unite, their love does not stop with them but flows outward, touching lives around them, inspiring faith in those who watch, and serving as a testimony that God is faithful to complete the good work He begins, not only within individuals but within the bonds He Himself establishes. Let your heart welcome this season without hesitation, for it is not a fleeting gift but a lasting one, not a temporary comfort but a purposeful blessing, and the more you lean into trust, the more clearly you will see that this was always written for you, carefully designed and lovingly delivered at the moment when your spirit was ready to embrace it fully without fear, without doubt, and without restraint. So stand in peace, breathe in hope, and lift your spirit in gratitude, because the person being sent carries more than love. They carry heaven's message that you are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, and you are not abandoned, and through them God will remind you daily that He delights in blessing His children, that His promises are true, and that His love, revealed in the presence of this person, will never fade. Amen.